Look at it now. It's only got a little ways to go. I might be able to do that for $4,000. I just want to see if the car actually makes it this far before I commit to doing something really crazy. Nope, one more road panel. I know there's not that many levels left, but they're all going to be a nightmare. I'm pretty sure of that. This one is called Trapped Doors, so it's going to be another spring balancing disaster. So my ever brilliant plan is to start with something like this, copy and paste it at 8 degrees somewhere up there, delete the old bridge, copy the new one, place it here, and then hope the rest builds itself. I have zero faith that a single spring is going to be enough to hold up this bridge, so we're going to have to work on a few things. Two springs, however, look like we might be getting closer to where we need to be. Or even just a single spring in a less stupid spot. Okay, the problem is both of these cars are about the same weight. The limo is only slightly heavier than the rear car, so I'm gonna have to rethink my design, because if the limo crosses this, the second car is gonna do about the same thing. I've considered trying to do something clever like this, but it's not really working out so well so far, because it kind of just rides on a limo, and the limo carries the extra bridge over there, and then it just falls apart. New plan, new design. I'm gonna bring the cars up top, and then this is going to be compressed down because the limo is slightly heavier, making its way to its flag. The other one's going to cruise across up top. Not even sure if this is going to hold up. So far so good, but those stupid long limos are always a problem right in the middle. Slight adjustment, this should work out better. As long as the limo can get up top, we're going to be okay. Attempt number 1. Not quite there. The limo is very narrow in its profile though, so we'll be able to squeeze through a gap pretty easy. See, but here's that problem I was talking about. Because the cars weigh about the same, the limo sneaks right on through there. The second, whatever this is, climbs on up there and follows the path of the limo. Like they're so close in weight, the springs act the same. Wait a sec. I might have the answer. If the limo eventually squeezes its way through there, which it might, then the other car might actually climb up on top of there because it's slightly lighter. It's just going to take a little while to get there. We'll go at 300% speed. Oh, yeah, if it pushes the limo in, actually, that might work. Oh, please work. This would be my favorite design ever. I can't really tell, but I think it might be working its way slightly higher. Making the spring a little more slack also doesn't work. Alright, here's my trapdoor that I've landed on. The limo goes through, squeezes its way through. Does take a little bit of time, but you know what? Luckily, there's no time limit for us, so I can do these stupid things. Limo slowly squeezes his way through the gap. And then guess what happens once our little friend comes up the rear? He climbs the limo. He pulls the limo back out of place and very, very slowly climbs his way on top. And level complete. We used the other car as a building block. I couldn't be happier about that. Something like this was actually a really smart idea. Kudos to people who figured things like this out. I kind of did the same thing. I just used only a limo, not any bridges. Triple decker drawbridge. Right. Wait, I see the stars now. I'm starting to see them before I need them now. This one feels like it's going to be a lot of planning. So hopefully something like this. Not really sure if this is actually going to work or not. That one broke, but the other two are not bad. We're way closer than I thought it was going to be for this. Pretty sure after a few small changes, I might have it exactly where I need it to be. Everything pulls out of the way. The boat's probably not going to clear that. But you know what? Let's see if it even holds up with the vehicles either. I haven't tested that yet. Didn't really notice there was a school bus over there. That could be a problem. All right, I've got the bridges out of the way. It's just a matter of making it strong enough to support itself now. Now let's take a look at where it all goes wrong. Okay, so pretty much everywhere. Turns out simply designing a triple drawbridge was the easy part. Getting the vehicles across is really hard because that's a long ways to make the vehicles go. Here's my answer to the bridge that just wouldn't hold itself up. I replaced some of the metal with less expensive wood because it didn't need to be metal, and then I put some compressed springs down here which push this part of the bridge up, taking all the pressure off this area. And now watch what happens. Boat passes through, no problem. This particular beam takes all the weight there that was making the difference. Everything goes across, easy. Pretty close to budget, but it's a success. Safety gap? That's an oxymoron. Time to build yet another one of these self-supporting jumps. Wow, that car does not go very quickly at all. How is it ever going to clear a gap if it can barely drive up the ramp? So I need to find a way to support this entire bridge while having a gap in the middle of about 3 road spaces. And somehow I think I actually have an idea. Now that I look at it, maybe not so much. I'm kind of hoping that I can support this entire thing with a well-placed spring. Might need to add a little bit of metal for the structure of this. Alright, I might be onto something. Obviously the angles are a little bit out still, but this could work because that's only $25,000 of my budget so far, and this is the big end. I can't help but be a little bit concerned about my vehicle's lack of speed though, like it's not going to clear any gap. Something like this is probably more realistic because the car's going to need to build speed all this way and then be able to clear whatever gap we can work with. Here's where my brilliant plan leaves us now. The car scoots across, not very quickly, makes it halfway across the gap before plummeting into the water. So I'm thinking it needs a downhill slope before a jump upwards. And here we go. Down it goes, that's better, but not even close still. Made things a little bit steeper again, and I'm kind of getting the same result. The car just doesn't jump anywhere near far enough, so I'm clearly overlooking something. I kind of have a fun idea that I really want to try. Might be able to get away with a shorter ramp if we can make the car go faster. Now, how do I make the car go faster? We use springs, of course. A piece of road will interact with the car, so if these springs are pulled tight, it should launch the car into oblivion. Though, they might just hit stretch. I might have to build this kind of backwards, but let's see what happens. Alright, car, go. Well, that kind of broke, but I think I've got the right idea. So far, the springs are mostly just braking on the car, but with some small adjustments, I am getting the car to pick up just a little bit of speed at the beginning. Maybe this isn't the answer after all, because it just gives it a little bit of a push. It doesn't seem to make a difference. For such a simple level, it's very hard to complete because I'm kind of at a loss for ideas. I don't know what to try next.
3 hours later.
Alright, somehow we find ourselves here. Don't know how we got here, just messing with things, but so far it's actually working out pretty close. So I'm just going to keep kind of coaxing my ramp over a little bit further every time, and hopefully this will be enough to hold up in the end. Because I mean, as it is, we're getting pretty close, and I wasn't really even trying to do it. Getting pretty close now with $3,000 budget to spare, so should be just a few small adjustments somewhere. Getting closer now, maybe we just need to add some springs? Trying all sorts of different combinations, still can't quite get it to where it needs to be. Do you think something really stupid like this could work? Well, what do you know? I think I found the answer. It can just skip across little gaps, all the way to the end where it can skip a slightly bigger gap. $53,500 spent. Someone did make this spring approach work. Good job, whoever this was. Yeah, that's awesome. Look at that thing go. It bounces on both sides. How fun is that? Wish I was that smart, but I'm still happy I was able to come up with some kind of creative solution. This one's called Big Spender, and it's giving me $14,000 to work with, and a pretty heavy truck to get across a pretty big gap. I don't even have the money to build a very simple bridge like this. Let's see if that actually, nope, probably not gonna hold up super well. So I'm thinking it's probably just gonna be another arch. And I don't even have the money to build an arch. I have no idea how I'm supposed to do this. Wait, does that actually hold itself together? Why does that work? Interesting. I've never actually tried to build an arch with just roadway before, but I could be onto something here. This almost seems like a trick level at this point, because I can almost make it work with just this. And this is using up most of my budget, by the way, so I don't know what to think of this right now. We're getting pretty close now with this pretty simple build. 3 triangles so far is all I'm using, and it's a lot closer than it should be. Alright, here's the deal. 3 triangles and 2 ropes. This is how far that gets me. Truck goes down, works its way back up across, no problem so far, breaks the rope, but can't get over this gap. It gets that close. Sadly, no matter how long I wait, the truck is not gonna make it. Believe it or not, I just completely rebuilt the bridge, and we're still not quite there yet. Well, I wasn't wrong, these levels are very, very hard. We don't even have the budget for like a small arch, a very, very small one. Not that that's gonna hold up very well anyways. It made it. I wasn't even paying attention because I didn't think that was going to work. Anyways, here's what we did. Little bit of wood here, little bit of wood here, nothing in the center to support all of that. I didn't realize that was so strong by itself. And then you just got to wait for that truck to claw its way across. There we go, we're even under budget somehow. Look at everyone else actually using structure to do this. I got 26th place on that because I didn't really use wood, which means top 2%. This one's called Thread the Needle. If there's one thing I'm not good at, it's surgery. So we get to work with another dune buggy that's quite light, but we gotta put it through that little gap. Well, at least it has some speed finally. I've only got 8 pieces of road to work with, so let's see where this one gets us. Broke the bridge and did some nice flips. But this one shouldn't be too bad with just a little bit of effort, because it can actually climb up the wall. Alright, we're on to something here. Got the first part of the bridge set up, cost me about $10,000 to do so, which kinda hurts, but we were through the gap. I might have to rethink this side of the ramp for a slightly cheaper build, because I used up most of my budget getting me to here, and that's still a lot to build over here to make that work. I made my ramp even more expensive, but I made the car go so much further. Look at it now, it's only got a little ways to go. I might be able to do that for $4,000. I just want to see if the car actually makes it this far before I commit to doing something really crazy. Nope, one more road panel. That's probably not going to hold up, though it was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. I've also just now realized where the flag actually is. It's underneath. I was planning on landing up top because I wasn't paying attention, so we're probably going to need a complete redesign, because that doesn't work. I made the car go where it was supposed to go. It wasn't really in the way that I expected, and we're still over budget, but I'm suddenly a lot closer than I thought it would be. Car just makes it through, lands, and hits the flag. I just gotta shave off $3,000. I've got myself down to about $1,200 over budget, so I'm a lot closer. The other problem is my whole thing kind of falls apart on both sides. And now when it doesn't fall apart on the left side, it doesn't jump far enough. I found a nice balance how to get the car through the gap under budget, but I need to be able to land it without breaking anything, and I've got about $200 to work with. But with a little absolutely extraordinary luck, I might be able to make something work. We're very, very close to where we need to be. I can get the car to jump all the way to there, it just breaks the bridge. If we could just land there and bounce across, we would be where we needed to be. I've tried so many different combinations on those springs. Sometimes it's a little bit closer, sometimes it's a little bit further, but I am close. Here's an interesting development. I changed this around a little bit, and here's what happens to the car now. It jumps, lands, goes bananas, but the bridge holds together and it almost gets to where it needs to go. A few minor design changes later, and I think I found the optimal takeoff point. Watch how far this thing goes from here. Cruises right through and basically lands all the way in by itself. So I'm really hoping I can just get away with something like this, because that leaves me $2,000 under budget, but I don't really know what's gonna happen here. There's not a lot of proper structure there. Oh, that actually works. One of those levels where you go from a million miles away to suddenly you've got it. Tipping power, this one doesn't sound fun. I have 4 pieces of road to get that bus across this gap, but I do have $35,000, and I don't think my gap strategy is going to work on this one. Ever since I first laid eyes on these springs, I really wanted to see if I could wedge a bridge in there without actually connecting it to anything. Unfortunately, with only 4 pieces of road on this one, I don't think I'm going to be able to make that work. That'll have to be for another day. This is sort of what I'm going for right now. The design will finally look like this eventually as soon as I can find a working way to do this. As of right now, we need more steel. Okay, with all that steel, the bus can in fact get on top of our bridge, but it doesn't exactly turn or do anything that it's supposed to do. It just kills everyone on board. Okay, I literally adjusted the spring 10% and that changed the entire bridge. I wasn't even recording that because I didn't think that was gonna work, because that's stupid. So, 10% compressed, watch the difference that made. Everything's just balanced more now because of that. The bus gets on there, kind of gets caught at the end where it waits to be dropped off. And yep, it's that easy from there. I just need to make it a little stronger. Here's my solution. Just adding a spring to the other side. That way the bus climbs on. Same way it always does, because the geometry hasn't really changed that much. Bit of a hang up on the bumper. But the spring absorbs the shock on that side, and that's done. It went from 100% to 80% stress. Drawbridge in disguise, that sounds like effort. So this looks complicated. Van's gonna cross, hydraulics are gonna do their thing, maybe even a few times. Van goes over to the flag. The game's first mistake was giving me too many road pieces to work with. If I get too many of those, I'll just build right over things because it's gonna be easier, as long as the van doesn't flip. Oh, it might land backwards. There we go. It'll turn around now. Then all I gotta do is just build a ramp downwards. That should be easy enough to do. Yeah, and I mean, we still got $15,000 budget. I can see how this is going to get tricky though, because I've got to make a road appear here. Not entirely sure how this is gonna go. Never hit a bridge underwater until I needed it before. Hopefully the hydraulic can lift all that. That's a lot. And then it being able to support itself is going to be the next question, but we'll get there eventually. All it has to do is squeeze through the gap. It's gonna get there eventually, no matter how long it takes. We're still over budget. I just want to make sure it can get there. Look at those little wheels go, and we're good. Alright, everything holds up so far, just need to shave the budget. The trick to doing this one was I turned off the grid, that way I can adjust this just finely wherever I wanted so it would snap to the other piece. And I've never tried turning off the grid before, but it's kinda nice, you have a lot more maneuverability. But that comes at the cost of not having a grid to work off anymore. And then it's a little hard to find your place again. Once you start moving things around, if the bridge doesn't hold up, you can't just snap it back to where it was, you're kinda guessing. I've just shortened this road and dropped it a bit. That basically ate half the budget we needed to eat up, though we can't break the bridge at the end, so we're gonna have to change that just a little more, but that's okay because this is way cheaper to do it this way anyway. And I could probably make some of these triangles a lot smaller now, considering it clips in so nicely there. Oh good, now it doesn't work. Okay, I've got the bridge back to a finishing point. It's just $500 over budget, but from here it's just a matter of adjusting triangles until it works again. Easy. I think I'm probably going to be playing with the grid snapped off for pretty much the rest of my pulley bridge career, because this does make it easier. Right there, we're $4 under budget. Provided this actually works, we'll be getting exactly what we need out of this bridge. Damn it. Let's try a different triangle then. I did one way down the end here, it still doesn't work. If we make it exactly $25,000, that works. I could definitely take some time and whittle that down, but I mean, I'm in 1539th place, which puts me in the top 95%, so I'm not really gonna work too hard on this one. There definitely are some cool looking designs though. I like this guy's idea. Watch what happens. He drives across, that part of the bridge just drops off into nowhere. Then the bridge lifts up, connects back down to here. If it wasn't for the bridge falling into the water, you know, I would love a design like that. Lean on Me, a giant span with an accordion bus. Yeah, we're gonna do this one next time.